Cycling is one of the oldest sports we have going on. You need lungs of steel to keep up with cycling and stick in it for the long run. One of the most well-known cyclists of this generation, Philippe Gilbert, has been having a ball this year with his run so far. Sadly, all good things must come to an end, and so did Gilbert's career, but he did so in quite a style. Let's check it out. Starting off, Gilbert gets a star-studded send-off. Philippe Gilbert's racing career ended last weekend at Paris Tours, but his ultimate farewell came on Saturday with a star-studded send-off during his final ride event in Valkenburg. Gilbert is Belgian, but he chose to have his goodbye party in Valkenburg, Netherlands, to take in the Kodberg, the climb that has defined his career, the location of his World Championship triumph in 2012, and the primary feature of the Amstel Gold Race, which he has won 4 times. After winning an unofficial race ahead of Fabio Jacobsen and Arnaud Delis, as well as old colleagues Thor Hushovd and Andre Greipel, the 40-year-old lifted his arms at the summit. Gilbert joked that there would be no gifts for him along the 65-kilometer journey, but there could only be one victor, and he raised his arms aloft alone on top of the Kodberg, as he had done a decade before. Next, a special race just for Gilbert. The world-class athlete had rolled through the Old World's course just a few hours before, with over 1,000 supporters joining him. Following the race, Gilbert was honored with a guard of honor by his fellow riders before symbolically hanging his bike on a hook to commemorate the end of his 20-year career. Gilbert stated that he could not have imagined it any better. The torrential rain didn't damper his enthusiasm. Gilbert then went off to shower and put on his tuxedo for a private dinner with many luminaries from his career. Greipel and Hushovd traveled from Germany and Norway, respectively, to attend, while Gilbert's previous manager at BMC Racing, Jim Oshowitz, came in from the United States. Eddie Merckx, who had made a surprise appearance on the stage, was another special visitor. Nicky Terpstra, Tim de Klerk, Jurgen Roelandts, Julian Vermoet, Johan van Summeren, and Axel Merckx were among the riders. Moving on, let's talk about the athlete's impressive record. Gilbert thus officially ended a 20-year career that included 80 triumphs, including his World Championship, 4 Amstels, and victory in 4 of the 5 monuments in 2009 and 2010 Tour of Flanders, Paris-Roubaix, Liège-Bastogne-Liège, and Lombardia. His victory in Liège was part of his all-conquering 2011 season, which included the Ardennes quadruple, Brabants-de-Piel, Amstel, Flèche Wallonne, Liège, as well as the Tour de France's opening stage in Belgian road race and time trial crowns. He also won the Strade Bianche, Classica San Sebastian, and GP de Quebec that year, a 19-year career that featured championships like the UCI World Tour, and legendary events such as the Paris-Roubaix came to end on Sunday, but not without one final success. After winning the team time trial in the morning, Belgian cyclist Gilbert won the Criterium in the afternoon, after breaking away on the last lap of 40 over Monte Carlo's renowned streets. Now talking about what cyclists do after retirement. Most professional cyclists begin their careers in their early 20s and get accustomed to following preset tough training programs, having their daily life dictated by their racing schedule and season goals. A professional cyclist social circle is mostly composed of fellow riders or individuals working in the cycling industry. Furthermore, many professional cyclists live in hub cities such as Manchester, Girona, Nice, or Oudenaarde, which provide access to training facilities. So, a life dominated by riding inevitably leads to a sense of being defined by cycling. And when retirement day arrives, the professional cyclist may feel they have lost their identity. A rider will have explored alternate hobbies if their retirement date is set, but handling the change, particularly the emotional element, can be tough. The Rouleur Classic bike exhibition held late last year in London featured the great and the good of professional cycling, including a number of former professional racers who spoke to Racing Weekly about their experiences in cycling and in retirement. First up, we have Sean Kelly with his take on retirement. Sean Kelly managed his retirement transition in 1994 by racing for a Pro-Am team in France during his last year before retiring. With a highly successful career behind him, he was greeted as a hero upon his return to his hometown and was offered initiatives to participate in, including becoming a consultant for Eurosport. He has now taken on a variety of tasks, including team administration, the establishment of 2 namesake Cyclist Sportive, the marketing of a variety of bicycles and gear, and the operation of training camps in Mallorca. Next, we have David Miller with his post-cycling life. David Miller's retirement has led to his branching out into interests other than cycling. He has returned to a passion he had previous to professional cycling, namely design, and has become deeply involved in fashioning and commercializing a clothing line. Miller has also converted from 2 to 4 wheels and is now an ambassador for Maserati sports vehicles. Bodden Cook, on the other hand, took his time to choose an occupation that would help him enjoy his retirement. He is presently active in team management and television journalism, as well as being the face of Factor Bikes. Further, we have Ted King. King, a retired American road racing cyclist who most recently competed for UCI Pro Team Cannondale, began riding professionally in 2006 and raced for 10 years. He still spends a lot of time on his bike after retiring in 2015, but he enjoys it completely differently these days. King's new approach is aptly summarized by his beverage of choice, a swap of science-fueled recovery beverages for IPAs, and he's now an avid participant in races such as the Dirty Kanza and Leadville 100. King is open about the struggles he had while training as a professional cyclist. Next, Gracie Elvin. Gracie Elvin's career began in 2012 when she rode for the Farron Honda Italian team, where she won the Oceania Championships Road Race Championship and silver in the time trial. After joining Mitchelton Scott, the Australian cyclist showed consistency over the next several years, finishing second at the Tour of Flanders in 2017. Elvin, on the other hand, had had enough life on the road by 2020 and announced her retirement at the end of the season. She's now an important member of the Cyclist Alliance, TCA, a women's riders organization that just started a mentorship program to help cyclists transition into post-pro life. Of course, she is well positioned to provide help since learning how to live without continual objectives to drive her has been a challenging journey for Elvin. She attributes her success to family support, her work with TCA, and a university degree. Despite this, she was honest about the fact that it was still a huge step into the unknown, which is one of the reasons she is so committed to keeping the event running. Moving on, Lucy van der Haar. Lucy van der Haar, who had won 2 world titles and a UCI stage race title, chose to retire at the age of 26 after a successful career on the bike. The Briton declared in 2020 that this would be her final season as a pro, having spent the previous 2 years with Hittech Products Berg. She also finished her career on a high note, winning both the overall title and the points division in the inaugural Dubai Women's Tour. She had won the first stage and briefly had the leader's jersey before reclaiming it on the last day. Nonetheless, she desired a different type of stability and hoped to establish a family with her husband, pro cyclist Lars van der Haar. She now operates her own salon in the Netherlands and looks after the couple's young child. Of course, she still rides her cyclocross bike and occasionally does some motor pacing for the hubs. Finally, we have the resilient Daniel Lloyd. Despite the seeming ease with which some cyclists transition, a shift in speed can have catastrophic effects for certain riders. Daniel Lloyd, a retired professional road racing cyclist, began competing when he was 13 years old.
Riding in the New Forest, which has brought back a lot of memories when I grew up riding a bike.
Lloyd raced professionally from 2001 to 2012, with his most successful years occurring between 2006 and 2009. Although Lloyd is now a prominent sports broadcaster, he has been candid about the fact that retiring was originally difficult for him, since he was concerned about how to stay relevant after riding. Lloyd reminds us that even our favorite pros are just like us, with their own set of struggles both on and off the bike. Cycling may be a freeing and empowering tool for many people, but even those of us who have less competitive ties with our bikes struggle to maintain a healthy relationship at times. Here's hope that with the help of organizations like the Cyclist Alliance and others, we can continue to discover ways to make the cycling community a better place for everyone who participates. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think of Philippe Gilbert's retirement and life achievements? Did we miss anything? Let us know in the comments below. It'd be awesome if you gave this video a thumbs up. And please, don't forget to subscribe for more scrumptious videos like this. See you in the next one.